Okay, go ahead and write down your Cornell note. Put down the date. Go and write out your template. This is going to be Discovery Education Living Earth 2.2 Explore number 1. I've got your text open here on the left-hand side. We're in photosynthesis. If I dial this back just a little bit here, you can see that we are in Unit 2, and we're on the second concept, photosynthesis. If we click that and we go to explore, we are on the first explore. Okay, how are photosynthesis and cellular respiration related? Go ahead and write down what you know. Okay, well, hopefully you wrote down something, something that you knew, or at least what you think. If we take a look at the first title here, the first bold print, autotrophs and producers, that's going to be Roman numeral 1. And we're just going to take from that paragraph organisms that photosynthesize. You understand photosynthesis. You think about plants doing photosynthesis. They're called autotrophs. Troph means to eat, auto means self. So these are self eaters or self nourishers. They can make food for themselves. That'd be handy, wouldn't it? It would save you a lot of work having to go to the grocery store and having to cook all the time. Plants, algae, some archaea. Archaea are a primitive early form of bacteria, but different. And then bacteria themselves, there are some, all these are able to do photosynthesis, or some of all of these are able to do photosynthesis. If you recall from our trophic pyramids, when we were looking at food chains and food webs, we used the word producers at the bottom of a trophic pyramid to refer to your autotrophs and plants. Any produce, right? When you go to the grocery store and you go to the produce aisle, you go to buy producers, autotrophs, right? Your lettuce and your carrots and things like that. So if we continue on down here, photosynthesis, as you know, uses solar energy from the sun to convert carbon dioxide. This is a gas that's in the air, right? Air is a mixture of different gases. Carbon dioxide is one of those gases. Uh, Water from the roots, and this will go through a process converting that into oxygen and carbohydrates. It's important to note here, you got this on the side margin here, photosynthesis provides biomass to most of Earth's food chains, whether you're aquatic, think phytoplankton and algae in the oceans and lakes. They're feeding zooplankton and small organisms that small fish will eat, and bigger fish will eat those, and larger fish will eat those, right? Land, it's the same way. Uh, your uh, your plants are going to be eaten by uh, herbivores, and they'll be eaten by omnivores or carnivores, right? So, what is photosynthesis? Well, here's the equation. You need 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 6 CO2. That comes from the air. You need 6 molecules of water. That comes from the roots. You need energy from the sun. And this is very important, by the way. This reaction is going to absorb that energy. It's going to convert it into chemical bonds. Remember, C6H12O6, that's a simple sugar molecule, glucose. And from that, plants will either use it for its own energy, or it will store it. If it's stored, it might store it as starch or cellulose. Those would be polymers, right? But the monomer would be the simple sugar. It also produces oxygen, 6 molecules of oxygen. It does not need the oxygen. You could think of that as a waste product, but lucky for you and me, we need that waste product. That's how you and I breathe. We need that, right? So notice a couple things here on the side margin. I wrote down this is a balanced reaction. Remember the law of conservation of matter, the laws of thermodynamics, the first law. You cannot create or destroy energy or matter, but you can transform it. So when you take a look at the 6 carbons, you have 6 carbons on the right-hand side. When you take a look at the O2 times 6, that's 12. You're going to have 12 oxygens on the right. See O6 here, plus 6 times 2 is 12 oxygens over here. Okay. Actually, I should have said 12 over here plus 6 over here. So that's going to equal that. You're balancing these reactions. You had 6 times H2, that's 12 hydrogens, and here's your 12 hydrogens here. So you can see that there's simply been a transformation that's gone on here. So what kind of a side note here, the oxygen that we have on Earth, the stuff that you and I are breathing, is largely related to photosynthesis. Uh, there was oxygen being produced very early on in Earth's history, but a lot of that actually was kind of used in oxidation reactions. It actually reacted with minerals on Earth, rocks on Earth, whatnot, and it really didn't add significantly to the atmospheric oxygen. It wasn't until we had photosynthesizing organisms after most of the oxidizing reactions had occurred that we actually could build up atmospheric oxygen. That's just a side note. So, number 3, photosynthesis is an endothermic reaction. Endo meaning to absorb energy. That makes sense, right? You are absorbing the sun's energy and you are locking it into chemical bonds. It's being absorbed. Okay. So how does that happen? Well, we're not going to really, the purpose of this chapter here is not to, at least this explore, is not to tear the photosynthetic reaction apart and how that happens. But we do use in plants, there is a molecule called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a pigment that absorbs a photon of light, and through a series of reactions, it stores that photon as a high energy molecule. But chlorophyll, the main pigment in plant cells, it absorbs most of the visible spectrum except for green. Chlorophyll doesn't absorb green. So it reflects it. And that's why you and I see the green when we look at leaves and grasses. They appear green because the plants are not absorbing the green light frequencies. All right, so letter C, cellular respiration. This is what you and I do, and plants do actually, when we need to use that energy. We do the reverse of photosynthesis. We do cellular respiration, and that occurs in our cells. We use the products of photosynthesis, that would be the sugar, to make energy by aerobic cellular respiration. Aerobic refers to the fact that we use oxygen. That's why you're breathing. You breathe in oxygen, and the reason why you're breathing in oxygen is because you need that oxygen for your cellular respiration reaction. So here's the reaction. Let's see, 6O2. Right, that's the oxygen you're breathing in plus a molecule of sugar is going to yield 6 molecules of water, right? You breathe that out. If you've ever breathed on a mirror or a glass, you notice that you fog it up. That's the water vapor plus 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus energy in the form of ATP. All right, so and ATP is actually the preferred form of energy that your body is going to use to drive most of the reactions. It stands for adenosine triphosphate, ATP. The last point we want to make here is that photosynthesis and cellular respiration are really part of a never ending cycle. Photosynthesis leads into cellular respiration, and cellular respiration feeds back into photosynthesis on and on and on. So if you take a look again, photosynthesis, you need 6 molecules of water, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, energy from the sun. You will get 1 molecule of sugar, that's C6H12O6, plus 6 molecules of oxygen. Notice that this product here is going to be the reactants in cellular respiration. So there you are, C6H12O6, your sugar molecule, plus the 6 oxygen molecules that you breathe in are going to give 6 molecules of water plus 6 molecules of CO2, because you're also breathing out carbon dioxide, and it's going to give us energy in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Well, I hope that was helpful. That was largely just kind of going through your text and just putting that in notation form. Okay, so make sure you go through your text and read it. Okay, because I just basically took the basic core information out of there, but there's some additional details in there that are worth noticing. And take a look at the tables and watch those videos to just kind of help round it out for yourselves. Okay, go ahead and write yourselves a summary paragraph, and we'll talk to you soon.